We're back. I'm Taylor Reed. This is Nick Reed. Top 25, Nick. We got Alabama at number 1, Ohio State at number 2, Georgia at number 3, Clemson at number 4, Notre Dame at number 5, Michigan at number 6, A&M at 7, Utah at 8, Oklahoma at 9, Baylor at 10. And I'm going to throw in number 11, Oklahoma State at number 11. Keep in mind this is the coaches' poll, okay? So it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's very early on. You notice those Big 12 schools, 9, 10, 11, Oklahoma, Baylor, Oklahoma State there. It's exciting because college football is right around the corner.
It's so close.
It gets us excited, something to look at. But
it is so close. I'm getting so excited, man. I cannot wait.
Do you agree with the top 5? I know it's early, and does it really matter right now for the coaches?
I think
poll?
the real question is, do I agree with Texas getting a first place vote at 18? The question is, the answer is no.
I know it's probably some Texas money that they threw in there.
That's what it is.
To give them one vote.
But back to your question, if I just off the top of my head right now, I would say Alabama number 1. I would say Georgia number 2. You can call me crazy, but I'm gonna say Michigan number 3. Number 4. Oh, I guess we could probably go Notre Dame. I
do want to say Clemson, they lose both coordinators.
They do.
Quarterback play wasn't what they expected. It was kind of like if OU and Clemson were looking in a mirror at each other last season. I would kind of compare that to what it was. I mean, those two schools kind of struggled.
I also wouldn't put Oklahoma above Baylor. I would put Baylor above Oklahoma, and honestly, I wouldn't be pissy if Oklahoma State was ranked ahead of Oklahoma.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just based off of last year, based off of what we know, players coming back. Do I think Oklahoma's going to beat Oklahoma State? Yeah, because they got them at home. But would I be shocked if Oklahoma State is above Oklahoma for most of the year? No.
Right, because Baylor, Oklahoma State, it came down to inches in that Big 12 championship game.
It did.
They both returned their quarterbacks. It's a huge deal.
Baylor's going to be good this year, I think.
They will. They have been kind of, I wouldn't say really a kryptonite to OU, but they play them well every single season since 2015.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I mean, we beat them. What was it? We beat them
2014.
We beat them by 13? 6, something like that. I can't remember what it was in 15. We were underdog in that when we went into their home. We actually gave them the first home loss they had in that new stadium with Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
But I guess as you look at the top 25, and like I said, it really doesn't mean a whole lot. 1, it's a coach's poll. 2, the AP top 25 doesn't matter a whole lot either. It's those rankings that come out at the very end that matter. And, you go look at the top 25, the AP top 25, every single year, and you look at the final rankings at the end of the year, it's almost a night and day difference, almost. Mm-hmm. You have a couple of those same teams that are in the top 10, top 15, and then you got a dark horse. You got the section under the 25th ranking, which is Houston. It has others receiving votes. You got like Iowa, Penn State, Tennessee, BYU, LSU, Auburn, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those teams came up and started winning. You never know, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. Looking ahead at their schedule, at Oklahoma's schedule, you got the first game is in Norman. It's going to be UTEP at 2:30 on Fox, okay? I'm pretty comfortable Oklahoma's going to handle that pretty well.
Yeah, UTEP and Kent State, really. I think those are pretty safe to say will win by double digits.
And if we don't, holy shit.
Right.
Okay. And every year when Oklahoma plays, there's always that one team that's gonna beat them on the schedule that you can't see it coming in the preseason. So hypothetically, you look, say like you got TCU, new coach this year, beating Oklahoma. Okay. You can't really expect that kind of upset to happen this year because this is Brent Venable's squad. You don't know how they're going to be. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But what I expect from that team is for them to bring it more than they did under Riley. I think they're going to be more prepared coming into games, especially from last year. There were so many games. I think there was like 7 games where we won by a touchdown or less, and it was ridiculous.
Well, you said something a few episodes back. The first play on offense that Oklahoma had last year was an interception by Spencer Rattler, and I hope he does very good at South Carolina, and it sounds like he is doing very good. So I'm not talking shit on Spencer Rattler by any means.
No, but like you were saying, that play defined how our season went. It really did. And I was like, wow. I mean, at first I thought it was a fluke. I was like, we're the number 2 team in the nation. We're going to be just fine. Well, and it continued.
That was originally supposed to be at Tulane, but there was a hurricane, so they moved it to Oklahoma, and the upper deck wasn't filled. I was working, so I didn't catch the very beginning of it. And I remember looking at the score, and it said Tulane 7, Oklahoma 0. And I thought, this is gonna be another Utah State of the 2010 season or whatever, you know. But anyway, so we can both agree that Oklahoma's probably going to handle UTEP pretty well. They're going to handle Kent State.
But here's the thing. You got Nebraska on September 17th in Lincoln.
In Lincoln, 11 o'clock on Fox.
So, okay, Nebraska lost. All of their games were by a touchdown or less, okay? Casey Thompson, their quarterback from Texas, wants to beat OU more than anybody. I can promise you that much, okay? So, Nebraska's going to be a really good game. And the fact that it's at 11 o'clock, it's in Lincoln, the rivalry is still there. You know, Nebraska wants to beat Oklahoma so bad, and they want to prove something. Scott Frost will be out to prove themselves, and what better way to come out and beat Oklahoma early on in the season?
Nick, quick, yes or no? Does Nebraska make a bowl game this year?
That's tough. I'm gonna say yes, but it's not gonna be a good one. They're barely gonna be bowl eligible.
Okay. I would be a little bit more scared of Nebraska if it was a primetime kickoff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that now. But will they beat Nebraska?
I think they will. I think it's like a 34-24 type of game.
I think it's going to be similar to the last year's game, but you're going to be more content with the win.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So, and then after that, you got Kansas State at Oklahoma. K-State always plays Oklahoma really well. That could be a trap game too. Who knows? Or right after the Nebraska game, coming off a big win, coming off whatever. Who knows? You know what I mean? And
Kansas State has had Oklahoma's number the past, I don't even know how many years. The past like 5 years, it seemed like.
Yes.
You know, they returned 6 on offense, returned 6 on defense as well. When they have Deuce Vaughn, that running back returning, that's huge. They also have Nebraska's quarterback from last season, Adrian Martinez, who's a runner of the football, and you know we have BV now as a head coach. So I don't see that being as much of a concern as it was, you know, last season under Riley, because it seemed like we couldn't stop the run for shit. So I don't know. I expect this defense to be more sound, more concentrated on their assignments. So
Yep. And then right after that, you got on October 1st, you got Oklahoma at TCU. TCU has a brand new head coach, year one. You know, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's in Fort Worth, correct?
Yeah,
it
it's
is
at
in
TCU.
Fort
It's
Worth.
right before OU Texas.
Yeah, I expect OU to kind of handle them and have their way with them. You know, they're still trying to figure out who their quarterback is for the past 2 seasons. It's Max Duggan and Chandler Morris, who was previously at Oklahoma in that 2020 season. But, yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get from TCU. I think that Texas game is more concern. I'd say the teams to look out for: Nebraska, Texas, Kansas State, and Baylor, Oklahoma State. Those are the games to really circle in the schedule.
Okay. And then you got Oklahoma, Texas at the Red River Shootout on October 8th. I'm telling you now, we've beat them how many times in a row? So 2018 Big 12 Championship, 2019, 2020, 2021. So we have 4 straight wins on Texas.
Texas is going to want to,
like RJ Young said, they're due. They're due for a win against us.
Yep.
Do I think Texas is going to beat Oklahoma? Hell no. Do I think they could? Hell yes. Would I be shocked if Texas beat Oklahoma? No, I would not be shocked at all.
No.
I would not be shocked at all.
No, it's a neutral site game as always. You know, they get Quinn Ewers, the number one quarterback in the country, going into the 2021 class. That's a big deal. When you have Bijan Robinson at running back, Xavier Worthy tore us up last season as a freshman. You know, they're gonna want to come play football, and they've never had a slouch roster. So Texas is gonna be a good team with Brent Venables as a first-year head coach. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough game.
Okay. And then right after that, they got at Oklahoma or Kansas at Oklahoma. You said Kansas has how many starters coming back?
They got 9 on offense and they got 8 on defense.
And they were competitive last year.
They may have went 2-10, but they were very competitive in most of their football games. Way more competitive than they've been the past 10 seasons.
One. And then at Iowa State, who knows with that one.
Iowa State loses a lot though. Last season they were one of the most experienced rosters in all of college football. Some analysts had them, in the top 4 in the preseason rankings.
On paper, they should have been. I mean, you look at
they lose Brock Purdy, they lose Breece Hall. They got 5 returning starters on offense, 3 on the defense. So Iowa State's kind of a question mark. They always bring it. So
Yep. And then you got the one I'm circling, and that's the one I'm actually going to try to go to, and we're going to try to go to, is the Oklahoma-Baylor game.
Yep.
That's going to be crazy. Who knows? I don't know. I think Oklahoma, the OU fan in me wants them to win. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely one to circle. The reigning champs, top 10 team going into the preseason. You return one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12 in Gary Buchanan. Dave Aranda has had OU's number and always plays OU
He's a
well.
stud.
He is. He's a damn good head coach. And Baylor's going to be a team. They're going to make a run in the Big 12. And honestly, I see us playing Baylor in the Big 12 at the end of the season.
I do too. And then you got Oklahoma at West Virginia on November 12th. Who knows? It's freaking July 9th, and we're talking about a game on November 12th. Who knows how games are going to go that far out? We don't know anything. We don't know how the season's going to unfold. Who knows? They have what's their quarterback's name?
For West Virginia?
Yeah.
They just got a transfer, JT Daniels.
That's who it was. Okay. So who knows? Who knows how it'll go? I think Oklahoma will handle West Virginia, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, they lost a lot on that defense. We also how that game went last season. OU scored on the first possession and then hit a field goal, at the end. So, we'll see how that game goes. But JT Daniels is probably their best quality quarterback they've had in recent years.
Yeah, there you go. And then the Oklahoma State game is not the last game of the season this year, because last year they could have played each other back to back. Oklahoma would have won in Stillwater, and they should have won in Stillwater, but Oklahoma State had the better team that year. Oklahoma State at Oklahoma, that's going to be a big one too.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one, and Oklahoma's going to bring it. They're going to be ready, but Oklahoma State's going to be ready as well. They have Spencer Sanders back, preseason first team All Big 12 quarterback. But they do lose their defensive coordinator and a lot on that defense. So overall, Oklahoma State has 7 returning on offense, and they were a top 53 offense in the country last season. So they're gonna have to step it up. Defense, they return 3, so they do lose a lot, lose their DC.
Okay,
we'll see how that goes.
And then the last regular season games, Texas Tech at Texas Tech. So they got another first-year head coach right there. Who knows how that will go? I think Oklahoma will handle Texas Tech, in my opinion.
Lubbock is a tough place to play, especially at night. But it's Texas Tech. We'll see what they bring. Return 4 on offense, 7 on defense, and like I said, that we don't know how these teams are really going to play in the season. But Texas Tech could be a trap game. Have to bring it. Have to stay focused on that last game of the season.
And does Oklahoma make the Big 12 championship, Nick?
They do, and I'll put it out there right now. I think that they're going to be playing Baylor. Dave Aranda is such a good head coach, and They have a lot coming back on the offense as well as the defense. 7-7 on both sides of the ball.
So do you think Oklahoma makes New Year's Six bowl, or do you think they make a playoff bid?
I think they're gonna be New Year's Six for sure, but it's gonna be like a fringe playoff. I think they could get into like a 4 spot, but that just kind of depends on where teams are ranked at the end of the season.
Sounds good. So it should be a fun season. Honestly, guys, it's going to be here before we know it. Time goes by fast. It just seemed like the other day Oklahoma beat Oregon in the Alamo Bowl.
Right.
So, Nick, do you have anything to wrap it up?
That's pretty much it. So right around the corner, and we are excited for this upcoming college football season.
Yes, me too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comment section.
If you liked the video, hit like, and if you didn't like it,
tell us how crappy we are.
Hit like.
A comment's
still.
a comment, man. I don't care. So, that's Nick. I'm Taylor Boomer Sooner. We will see you guys later.